Okay. Good morning, all. So this practice is a practice to to open up the flexibility of the spine. I think we mentioned this last week, that over time, if you think you kind of start upright with the spine, and over time, gravity will just slowly compress the spine a little bit. And within that, we kind of forget to move it really in that way that we used to when we were young. As mammals, we tend to kind of move the spine a little bit more forwards, backwards in that walking gait of mammals. Even if you think when they're swimming, dolphins, sea lions, they swim kind of up and down. It's that kind of gait. So within that, we kind of lose the freedom of our reptilian spine, that movement from side to side, and opening it up. Obviously, it's going to bring a whole lot of well-being into the body. It's going to lift energy. Energy is traveling along the spine, all those little nerve endings. And the yoga philosophy kind of basis, you have this kundalini, this reservoir of energy that's stored down in the base of the spine, down in the root of the spine. And as you free up energy along the spine, well, that energy can travel upwards, clearing all the passageways, energetic passageways, opening up into the skull, bringing space, bringing awareness, changing perception. So many different benefits arise when the spine is open. So that's where our practice is going to take us this morning. Hands resting on the lap to start with. And as you sit deep, whatever seat you're choosing to take right now, and that's your choice, anchoring down though through your sit bones to the earth, to the contact of earth beneath you. And hello, Bridget, hi. So make that your comfortable seat to start with. And then from that starting point, you're drawing up. Find the space between each of your vertebrae and continue that sense of lift, elongation, all the way up through this central channel, up to the crown of the head. And there, relaxing. It's if you're building a structure through the body on which your skull can balance, can be perfectly poised. Now bringing your breath into the structure and following your out breath to shut the eyes. And allowing your breath, your life force, energy within your breath, to flow, to pour into all the outer circumferences, parameters of this structure, the architecture of the body. So your breath is washing through you, flowing through you freely, allowing, enabling your energy to flow freely. Like water will smooth any hard edges, will soften rigidity of any object in its current. So too letting your breath flow freely through the body, within the body, around the inner space of the body. Doesn't matter if you don't feel that fluidity, but focusing on the breath, following its flow, That's enough. Putting down expectation about feeling what one should or shouldn't feel. And immersing, bathing in the rhythm of your breath, the flow of your energy. And fingertips touching, palms facing up. And breathing in, we'll lift the palms up to the heart. Then as you breathe out, you're guiding the palms back down to the base of the body. So the tops of the fingers are just touching one another. In breath, palms rising to heart. And out breath, turning downwards, guiding energy back down. We'll take one more round together. And opening your eyes at the end of your next out breath. So we bring the knees together now. We're coming into a moving twist down on the spine. So you're just coming down onto the back. Knees are up towards the chest. Making yourself comfortable there. We'll take the knees over to the right side of the body. Hands can be on the knees. And then stretching out your left arm. Stretching out your right arm. We'll now take the knees up to the center line and over to the left-hand side. Now moving with your in-breath, knees to the center. Moving with your out-breath, knees over to the other side. We'll take the knees from side to side. In-breath, knees rising. Out-breath, dropping down to the mat. And you can start to put your head into the equation to bring a little bit of fluidity into the neck. Turning your head the opposite way to which your knees are going. And moving from side to side for a few moments. Making the movement as smooth as you can. As constant as you can. So taking out any full stops from it. Seeing if you can keep your body in a sense of flow. Breathing your way around any little parts of the body that feel a little bit more sticky, a little bit more stiff than others. And following your breath through those. Letting your mind follow the breath so it doesn't get stuck in the tightness, any tension within the body. It doesn't start to kind of fixate on that. Take a few more rounds. Nice, long, even breaths. Be gentle with yourself this Monday morning. However you're finding your body, whatever state of mind is in. And from the next round that you're doing, we'll take the knees back to the center. And so they're hugging into the chest, and we'll bring the arms up to the knees there. And once there, you're now guiding your knees into little circles. And in doing so, you'll feel the contact around the back of the spine. So massaging out the lower spine with these circles. Feeling your weight shifting from side to side. And from one round, one direction, coming back the opposite way. Now, at any point, if you are aware there is tightness, stiffness, discomfort, there is tension in a sense within the body, do feel free to take a nice deep out breath through the mouth, really sigh out of the body. And we're arriving back to our center line. Now, once here, we're going to cross the legs over. So the ankles are crossed, and then you're reaching down towards the outer edges of your ankles. That feels too far away, and there's, creating strain rather than reducing strain. Just catching hold of the back of the thighs there. Now, you may want to give your bottom a little bit of a shove upwards here. Hands coming, not a shove maybe, a gentle help. Hands coming to the back of the bottom, and you can use that to just lift your pelvis up a little bit. And so your feet will be coming behind the head. Now we're going to roll up and down, getting a little bit of movement through the spine, a little bit of mobility. And you can make that a little bit more dynamic over a few rounds. So now we're massaging up along the spine, along the vertebrae. We'll do a couple more times, so building a little bit of heat as well. And building that heat in the body, it's a bit like putting the body into a furnace. You're making it more pliant, more malleable. So anything that is a bit stuck, the warmth starts to allow it to open. In the next breath, we're going to come to sitting. So you'll lift up, and we'll just hover here. In sitting, feet above the ground, where they come down, you can lift them up again. And finding a steady point of contact right in the middle of the pelvis, down into the mat. And then on that point of contact, you're going to take little circles. So you're massaging out the root of the spine here. Nice steady breaths again. Keeping the spine as upright as you can. So see if you feel your shoulders hunching forward a little bit, collapsing. See if you can draw up, keep that space through the vertebrae. And if you haven't started going the other way, we'll do a few rounds the opposite direction. And arriving back in the seat as we started. Hands arriving on the knee. Breathing in, we'll scoop the spine forward. So almost like we're doing a vertical cat-cow. Lifting up, chin will lift up, mouth will open. And out breath, curving inwards from the top of the spine, drawing the spine out behind you, shoulders rounding, spine curving over, chin to throat. Breathing out. Another in breath, scooping the spine up, the chest will lift, the chin will lift, the jaw will open, shoulders dropping down. And out breath, curving around, follow that curve of the spine all the way along each vertebrae up into the crown. And we'll do a few more rounds, working with our breath. in the rhythm of breath. And arriving in the out breath, the curve of the spine, rounding inwards. And the last round here. And then taking your knees together, we'll all meet on the mat in a forward fold. Feet hips width apart from one another. And we'll catch hold of each elbow, hand to opposite elbows to draw the spine down here. Now you want to line up your upper arms with your ears. So if you notice your arms are back a bit, bringing your arms forward. So the forearm the upper arm is more or less covering your ears. And we'll draw the spine down. Do put a bit of bend through the knees if your hamstrings got a bit tight. And one more round of breath there. Letting go of the arms, a deep in breath, and the palms will float up, the arms will float up, the spine will lift, a big circle up above the head. And we're going to come down, palms facing down, taking you back into forward fold. A little bit of bend through the knees, support the lower spine. Now we're rising and lifting with our breath. So in breath, palms will float up, spine will lift. And out breath, the spine will fold. Again, as before, keep a little bit of bend through the knees. If you need to. So just softening any pull on the body. Bringing your mind back to the body, back into the flow of the breath. And on the next round, we'll lift up, breathing in and breathing out, palms will come down to the belly and we'll pause in standing. Opening up through the sides of the body now. Big in-breath and the right arm will lift up. Once you're there, just shake out your left arm now. See if it wants to lift up. Just shake it out, almost like, we think about my daughter's bag here, the 17-year-old. And there's always these weird little bits in the bottom of it, bits of sand, bits of old apples, bits of old gum, whatever. You want to shake all of that out of that shoulder socket. Shake, shake, shake it out. Make sure nothing is left inside that shoulder socket. Once you've relaxed out that arm, we'll lift up through the right and you'll take that right arm over to the left. Now this is a deep sway, a big opener throughout the whole right side of the body. So allow your hips to sway out. Anchor your feet down. Really stretch out through all that outer edge. Your gaze can come up towards the ceiling. Hold here for a couple of breaths. And the final breath. Right arm will float down. And coming onto the other side, the left arm will float up. And then we'll shake out the right arm. Shake all the way into the shoulder socket, down the arm, into the hands. Once you've done that for a while, then we come into that outer body stretch. Hips this time leading out to the left. Anchor your feet down firmly. And last off, taking the gaze up towards the ceiling. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Left arm coming back down again. Left arm coming back down. Big in-breath, and we'll lift the palms up above the head. And once there, you're going to interlace your fingers up towards the ceiling. Draw them up as much as you can, as if you're pushing the ceiling away from you. Breathe in, look up. Out breath, we'll let the shoulders drop down. Arms are still up. But you now have got space between your shoulders for your neck to move in. Just move the head a couple of times from side to side. And then we're back to the center line with the head. Now strengthening the arches, we're lifting up the heels. We're riding on the balls of the feet. You want as much weight of the body to come forwards onto the balls of the feet, which will help to strengthen arches of the feet. So focus on something in front of you, on the floor or the wall. We take a couple of breaths here. And whatever the body's balance is doing here, keeping a nice steady rhythm of the breath. Let the mind flow with the breath. When you arrive in an out breath, arms will flow down, heels will flow down, and you're arriving back into standing. Allow your eyes to shut here. And a few moments to allow your body to intuitively find its own alignment. So feeling the body, feel both feet, toes connecting to the floor, to the earth. Heel connecting you to the earth. And in the center of the sole of the foot, as if there were a spring from the earth, and that's feeding the body, entering through the sole of the foot, right in that center point, breathing in, allowing that energy to lift through the body. And breathing out, feeling the ebb of the current, drawing back to earth. Soft, relaxed mind. So whatever you're noticing, it doesn't matter what, but just keeping a minimal effort, as it were, within this. And an in-breath, eyes opening again. And breathing in, we'll lift the palms up to the heart, hands are riding in breath. And we'll step the feet. Nice wide stance apart from one another. Turning your right foot out, so it's now parallel with the long edges of the mat. With an in-breath, we'll sweep the arms up to either sides and we'll lunge forward onto the front knee. Gaze will come down the right arm towards the right fingertips. Breathing out, straightening up the right leg, arms coming back down, across the body. Another in-breath, reaching out to the sides. Out breath, arms releasing down across you. A few rounds of breath there. Nice gentle movement. Moving in, moving out. The tide of breath. One more. And this time the right arm will reach up towards the ceiling. The left arm will drop down the back leg. And we'll turn the right palm up towards the ceiling. So if you're carrying a teacup up in the palm of the hand. Look up, reach over with the right arm. And now right arm will stretch out to the horizon. And it's going to arrive on your right leg. And we'll take the left hand up to the left hip. Now breathe out, slide that right palm down as far as it wants to go towards the floor. Take your gaze up to the ceiling. And in breath, left arm will float up. You're arriving in Trikonasana. Do put a bit of bend through the front knee if you need to there. You can put your hand on the block. You can rest it anywhere you want along the spine, along the leg. Anchor your feet. Keep the breath flowing into the body through all those little wobbles of balance, shifts of body. Next round of breath. And we're now going to take the left arm down towards the right, and we're going to swoop both arms over towards the left knee. Rotating your left foot now, so it's parallel with the long edge of the mat. Turning your back leg, the right leg, in a little bit. Coming into standing. In breath. Arms coming out to the sides of the body, gazing down the left arm. Little bend through the left knee. Out breath. Legs straightening, arms crossing over the front of the body. We move with our breath for a few rounds. Taking your time to find a relaxed rhythm. A rhythm that your body is happy to move with. That's supporting it rather than straining it at all. And in doing so, we're connecting the mind with the body, with the breath. We'll take one more together. And this time the left arm will lift up, palm facing up to the ceiling, right arm on the back leg. Hold the teacup with the left hand. And then start to take that left arm up and over the body. So you'll feel that stretch all the way along this side of the body, the underside. And starting to arrive into Trikonasana. Left hand reaches towards the left leg, right hand slides up to the right hip. Once you've got your left hand on the left leg, you may want to slide it down towards the floor a little more. Anchor your feet here, gazing up towards ceiling. In breath, right arm floating up. Allow your mind to keep following the breath. And with the next round of breath, We bring that right arm down, and we'll take the right hand over to the right leg, left hand over to the left leg, both feet now turning inwards. Toes can be out a little bit to the sides though. Out breath, sliding hands down towards the knees and sinking low into a seat. So hands are on the knees here, soft shoulders still. Taking your hips out to one side so your spine leans over the other way. And we take then the hips over to the other side so your spine will lean over the other way. So you're just going to move your hips from side to side, allowing the spine to travel. And following that all the way up and along the spine into the neck, your head will move in the same direction as your hips are moving. And you're now going to start flowing from side to side. Flowing through the sensation of heat building, maybe down in the groin. Long, soft out breaths, maybe through the mouth. Just a couple more rounds. And into the final one. And now starting to make your way up and into standing. And bringing hands up to the tops of the shoulders. Breathing in, we'll lift the palms up. Reach up, look up. Check the neck is relaxed here. You can move it between shoulders. Breathe in. And out breath, palms coming down. And you're guiding your spine now down and into a forward fold. Reaching forwards to the ground in front of you. Once you've got there, now turn the inner edges of the feet so they're parallel with one another. So your heels will come out a little bit to the sides. You've got clear parallel lines. Left hand directly in front of you. So you're looking down at the left hand. Reach forward as much as you need to there to get that purchase, or you could put a block up and bring the earth up towards you. Put a block underneath the hand. Breathing in, right arm will float up. You're looking to the side. Breathe out. Right hand coming down to your center line. Cover the left hand. Breathe in, left arm lifting up. Left hand coming back down again. Right arm floating up. Right arm back down. And on to the left side. Take a few more rounds of breath. And finishing off the round that you're doing. Lifting up both hands, sliding them up to the waist. And once there, we'll take little circles through the pelvis, legs still wide. Anchor your feet down as you're doing so. So you're really then localizing the movement in the pelvis. When you've done a few circles one way, take your circles the other way. And from those little circles, we'll take the heels in, toes out. In breath, arms will float out to the sides, we'll sink low. Out breath, arms will cross through the sides of the body, we draw up. In breath, sinking low. Out breath, drawing up. With the next round of breath, arms will stay out to the sides of the body. And once you're there, you're reaching out one side as if you're trying to catch hold of something, reaching out the other side. Just move from side to side here. Last round or so. And arms both coming down. Breathing in, drawing up, letting the legs lift up. Breathing out, palms coming down. And resting on the belly. We'll step the feet back together now, hips width apart. Hands are just resting on your belly. Little circles through the hands, over the belly. One palm will lift up and over. One palm will stay in contact with the belly. Take your circles the other way. Also, I'm finding that really hard, that way to coordinate. It's like, you know, when you're a kid and you do that thing of touching your top of the head and you're doing a little circle through your hands. Actually, we should have a go at doing that in a minute. But it just feels a little bit hard. It's unnatural. Okay, so one hand's going to keep circling then. Let's see if we can do it just for a moment. Keep it steady. We'll switch round. Always find when I do this bit, it's like a certain cheating, isn't it? You know that hand on the top of the head is doing a little circle, really. Doing the other side, a few rounds of breath. Oh, wanted a circle there. And then both hands coming down. So we're going to step the right foot forward, the left foot back. So you're coming into a lunge here. So you're balanced on the ball of the back foot. If that feels too strong, do anchor that back foot down so you have a bit more balance. Keep the feet as wide apart from one another as you want. So you're on train tracks rather than being on a tightrope. And then once you're there, anchoring into the ball of the foot, we're going to lift up the right arm as if you're pushing the right wall away from you. Now you're going to push through the heel of the hand, the base of the hand, rather than the fingertips there. Left arm's coming out behind you. You're pushing the wall away with the heel of the left hand. Now, as if you're turning light bulbs, take the fingers in towards one another. Lovely. Squeeze, squeeze, and look now over your right shoulder. Draw out through your back leg, all the way through the spine, lifting up into the crown of the head. Open out the fingers wide. And relaxing all of that down, hands to the front of the body. Rotate the feet now to the other side. So left foot is pointing away from you along the long edges of the mat. Turn the right heel in, either heel up or down. Left arm stretching out in front of you. Push the wall away, right arm stretching out behind you. Turn the light bulb in. Look over the left shoulder. Squeeze, squeeze, one more round of breath. Heels again, heels of the hands, pushing the wall, fingers spread wide. And relaxing the hands back down. We cross them over the front of the body again. Coming to the first side again, so you're rotating the right foot out again, left foot turning in. This time, right arm will stretch out in front of you, left arm out behind, sorry, the other way. Left arm in front of you, right arm out behind you. And you're taking your gaze over the right shoulder again. Letting the arms drop back down onto the other side. Left foot pointing away, turn the back leg in. And this time, it's right arm out in front of you, left behind. I think we went a little bit wonky there, never mind. I think we've done both sides. And we'll take the gaze over the left shoulder. Keep pushing the wall away with you with the heel of the hand. Lift up through the spine, into the crown of the head, and relaxing the hands down. Both feet now facing forward. In breath, we'll take both arms out to the sides of the body. Turn your fingers up, palms pushing the wall away from you. Gaze down over the left shoulder. Hold the arms there, keep pushing your wall. Triple a lovely stretch all the way along that inner edge of both arms. Keep the left arm active as well, engaged as well as the right. Arms relaxing down, take them over to the other side, push the wall away, both hands. And now your gaze is coming over your right shoulder. Keep pushing both arms, keep the right arm still engaged. And both hands down. Hands arriving at the heart. And we'll step up to the top of the mat, both feet together. Now, palms are strongly together with one another. Take them over to your left-hand side. Hips will sway a bit out to the right. And you're using that push of both palms together as if you're pulling your rib cage away from your hips. Gazing over the right shoulder. Take both palms together over to the right-hand side of the body. Gaze over the left. And bringing your hips to the left. Now we're going to move from side to side, sinking down into our seat. So you've got a little bit of bend through the knees now here. Equal pressure of both palms with one another. Fingertips pointing up. You're taking the fingers out as far as you can, both sides of the body. Keep sinking low into your seat. And we'll arrive back to our center line. Hands at the heart. Big in-breath, palms lifting skywards. And out-breath, a big circle through the arms. Opening up the space of the body. Taking that circle all the way down to the base of the body. And then we'll take another round. Breathing in, reaching skywards. And breathing out. Opening up the energy of the body. Allowing it to circulate. Well, giving it the space to circulate. All the way out to its outer parameters now. Now the whole structure of the body should feel quite open, warm, energy flowing a little bit more freely. So now we're just focusing in on that inner flow of chi, of prana, of the life force, as it were. Just harnessing that, allowing our mind to settle in that. So lifting up to the sky, breathing in a big circle up around us, and breathing out. Guiding the flow of energy down to rest in the belly, away from the head. Another in-breath, lifting skywards. And out-breath, guiding our energy down through the body. Into the belly. Take another round. And one more. And concentrating that energy now, resting hands on the belly. Mind with breath, with body. You don't have to make any effort here. The body finds its own intuitive flow, resetting itself. And eyes opening again. Palms together, lifting up skywards. And we'll take the body down, the spine down, into a forward fold. We'll take a few rounds of breath here. And from here, offering your spine forward, nice L shape through the spine. And palms arriving down to the mat, fingers spread wide. And we're stepping back, first time today, into down dog. It's a little stillness through the body here, allowing our energy to settle.
Your fingers in contact with the floor, heel of a hand in contact, balls of the feet. So if there's any space to move into, maybe your pelvis drawing up a little bit more the last couple of rounds of breath. And following your out breath from the body now, as you get to the end of the out breath and see if there's anything left, any more space to breathe out into. And we drop down onto the knees. And big toe pads connecting to one another. We're taking the pelvis back to heels, arms stretching out in front of you. And a light touch of forehead to the floor. Do put a block or book or a few cushions underneath the forehead. You're engaging anything here that doesn't need to be engaged. If you notice any tightening at all through shoulders, thighs, a few breaths here, just soften into those tightening, those areas of tightness. Another couple of rounds of breath, holding the body's weight, letting the mind put down the body's weight. When you're ready, you come up into kneeling, and taking the legs out in front of you. We're arriving back on the mat again. And arms out either sides of the body, knees tucked into the chest. And starting with a little sway from side to side. You can slowly accentuate and deepen that movement. So your knees will now start to come down to one side to the other. We're arriving back in the moving twist. As we started this morning, gaze will come down the opposite side of the body to the knees. And we'll take a few resting breaths now, either side of our twist. So whatever side you're on, just taking a few breaths there. Again, letting the body's weight settle earthward. And from here, we come over to the other side. And then bringing your knees back to your center line. And we'll stretch out each leg in turn. And once your legs arrive out on the floor, just touching lightly your big toe pads with one another. And then you can open out the toes, taking the feet away from one another. And palms resting either sides of the body, facing upwards. The next out breath, leaving the body through the mouth. Note how the new breath follows in its wake through the nose again. Few resting breaths. If you'd like to carry on in your Shavasana for a bit longer, then do feel free to do so. Otherwise, a couple of deeper breaths. And then, when you're ready to move, you can bend knees and roll over onto one side of the body. Give yourself a few resting breaths there. And then, finding your way up and into sitting again, and taking a comfortable seat. Arriving in that seat, follow your out breath into the body, allowing eyes to shut. And arriving in the sense of inner space. And we'll lift the palms up to the heart, touching the heart lightly, one palm on top of the other. And then the hands coming up to the eyes. And we'll lean the head forward to rest the eyes on the palms of the hands. And then guiding palms back together to the heart, into breath. And at the heart, bowing forwards, head to heart, and closing your practice. Thank you very much, everyone.